What is going on, explorers? My name is Dante. We are ChezDante, and today we are back with another episode. It has been a while since I've done an episode. We are here back at the studio, but before I get into that, let me go and play the intro music.
Perhaps your skills do extend a bit farther than basketball.
As I was saying, my name is Dante. We are ChezDante, and today I am going to be doing a bit of an update. But before I even get into that, we gotta set the vibe right. I got some incense here. We're gonna read a quick passage, and then we will get right into that. So let me get let me get some vibes going first. Like, I know I said I was gonna set the vibe, but let me get some auditory vibes as well. And we got Edie in the background here too. All right, we got that going. All right, let's get the incense first. And let's bless this recording.
Mi ha aumentato il ritmo, me ne faccio anche 3 per notte. Senta, scherzi a parte. Cosa pensa di me? Cosa le hanno detto?
Until then, all right, we are back. So, like I said, I'm back here at the studio. It's been a while. I don't even know how long it's been. Sometimes you just got to go ahead and live live. You got to go ahead and live live and experience things. And that's really the whole point of this podcast, right? You go out and live, you take the things that you've learned, and you bring it back to base camp. We're here back at base camp. We're recording. And I have this idea that I do want to talk about. I don't think it's going to be a long podcast. It's probably going to be, anyways, I'm not even going to get into that. But I got the 𝁟There here. We are going to flip to a random page. All right. 65. In the old days, those who were well versed in the practice of the 𝁟 did not try to enlighten people, but rather to keep them in the state of simplicity. 4. Why are the people hard to govern? Because they are too clever. Therefore, he who governs his state with cleverness is its malefactor. But he who governs his state without resorting to cleverness is its benefactor. To know these principles is to possess a rule and measure. To keep the rule and the measure constantly in your own mind is what we call mystical virtue. Deep and far-reaching is mystical virtue. It leads all things to return. till they come back to great harmony. And return is what we have done, baby. Let me just see if there's maybe a second page. I doubt it, but I'm trying to do this with one hand. Nope, that's it. That's definitely something to think about. Trying to govern without governing, but by remaining simplistic. I think that's, really something to meditate on, right? Trying to just be yourself, and whatever governing comes from that, not you trying to force it, but just you by being yourself and who you are. See what kind of changes that makes in your life. Anyways, that's the 𝓟There. Today I wanted to talk about, I guess it's a concept. I mean, it's pretty well known, and I wish I maybe came here with a little bit more research or background, or maybe the passages from the Bible if I really wanted to get into that. But I was having a conversation with one of my friends. Turn this down a little bit more. Maybe a little bit higher. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, Black Zeus. I've been working on his podcast. Go check it out, aka Black Zeus, on all socials, YouTube, Instagram. I'm plugging in more than myself. You know how it be. But we're having this conversation, and as I'm talking, a lot of times, these I guess I come up with similes or metaphors that try and convey my point. And as we're talking, I said this thing, and he made a note of that. He's like, you know what, that's right. Like, that's a good point that you made. So I wanted to bring it to you guys and have something that you could also think on, right? So we were talking, and I told him, like, first you gotta throw your money in the well, and then eventually you'll be blessed. Now, what do I mean by that? You gotta throw your money in the well, and the blessings come later. This sounds like Alchemist. Anyways, what I mean by that is how you have to be willing to give up something first in order for you to be the benefactor of whatever it is you first gave up. You have to be willing to sacrifice something. You got to sacrifice your time. You got to sacrifice, your energy, whatever it may be, in order to, get the things that you want to get, right? If you want to get good at something, you got to sacrifice your time. You got to do drills. You want to get good at basketball, you got to be in the gym early morning, doing dribbling drills and layup drills and practicing your three-pointer, right? Some people, they may be more naturally gifted at those things, but they still got to put in the work. And that's something that I've really been doing and focusing on the last, few months since my last recording. I've been, throwing things in the well, and not even knowing what blessing that you'll get from it, You're just putting it out there, you're showing up. You're putting the bread on the hook, per se. I don't know if you've got, I think I talked about that book, The Practice, before, but you keep showing up, basically. And, that's something that I've really been focusing on, right? Just doing the thing and not knowing the outcome, but knowing that a positive outcome will eventually come out. So where have I been these last few, I guess, months? I've been working on other podcasts, right? Like I said, the Black Zeus podcast. I've been working on Close But Way Off with Abbas Wahab and Jordan Policicchio. I've been shooting behind the scenes. I was just in Texas. I've been doing stand-up more, which is something that I've been talking on this podcast for a while, trying to just get up on stage more often, do more sets, get comfortable on stage. not even get comfortable on stage, get comfortable going up on stage. Because I feel like that's kind of the scarier part, you know, like not just being up there, but everything leading up to like right before your name gets called. For me, like, I feel like that's where most of the nerves are. I think like once I'm on stage, it's like, well, I'm already up here, not much I can do. But leading up to it, it's like, oh, like you're nervous, you're worried, but it's like this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do. You gotta keep showing up, and then hopefully, eventually, you won't be as nervous. It's normal, as Anderson Silver says. It's normal. It's normal. It's no big deal. So yeah, I've been doing a lot. I've done more stand-up this year. Oh my gosh, I dripped. I've done more stand-up this year than all the other years I've done, I think combined now, which has been good. I did set out this year to do more than last year, and I can say that I have accomplished that, right? But it's not over. I still got to do way more sets, way more open mics, way more shows, you know? And that's one of the reasons why I think I had to like take a little break, because I really needed to put the time in. I really needed to sacrifice some other things in order to commit the energy to doing stand-up, right? Because it does take a lot of energy, especially in the beginning, you know, just trying to keep keeping it together. Like, you don't freak out. Like, okay, you're booked for a show. How many people are there? Are you nervous? Are you shaking in your boots? Like, just trying to lock in, stay the course, stay the path, and not let those nerves, shake you out of it. Because it can be pretty nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I've done a few, like I said, I've done a few shows. I was recently out in Texas. Maybe I'll get into that. But, when you're just waiting there, like, that's kind of the most nerve-wracking part, just sitting there waiting for your turn to go up. Luckily, I've gone first most of the time. But yeah, you got to be willing to sacrifice things. You got to be willing to throw your money in the well before you get blessed. Or even think of it like this. Sometimes you got to burn wood to get fire because you need the heat. No sacrifice, no victory. Yeah, so let's see. I was just in Texas. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I was just in Texas, out in Austin, San Antonio area, doing stand-up, seeing the club. Got to go to the mothership 3 times. 2 of those times on the VIP list, baby. Ooh-wee. And having gone out there has, I guess, motivated me to, maybe crank up the fuel that I'm using. Like, go a little bit harder. Not too hard, because I'm not trying to burn out, but just a little bit more, a little bit more fuel, more consistently. Just because, like, you go out there and you see how those American comics are really grinding. Every Sunday, Monday, they're there, 5:30 in the line, in the heat. It is hot out there. They're in the line. They're signing up. They don't even know if they're going to get on, but they're sacrificing their Sundays, their Mondays, just for a 3-minute spot. Think about that. They wait in line for an hour, 2 hours for the possibility of a 3-minute spot. And then even if they get that 3-minute spot, are they going to do well? Are they going to be able to, keep their cool, remember all their material, be loose on stage? The more experienced people for sure, but, there's a lot of people that are out there maybe been doing this stand up the same amount of time as me, 3+ years, 4 years. And just sacrificing that time, waiting in line. And it's just really cool to see as well, the whole like system that they have out there. Everything kind of revolves around the mothership, right? The mothership mic is at 5:30, but then all the other the lineup's at 5:30. Then all the other mics sign up is after the mothership sign up, and there's maybe like 5 to 8 mics on the one street alone, 6th Street. I lost my train of thought, but anyways, everything revolves around that. You see the people making the commitment, sticking to the grind, and that's just something you got to do. You got to sacrifice other things in order to get other things, the things that you want. I kind of just wanted to talk about that kind of idea of trying not to hold on to everything. If other things are more important to you, are you willing to sacrifice the not as important things in order to achieve the things that you really want? If not, you're going to have a hard time trying to get those. I'm trying not to use the word things, but that's all that came to my mind. What else? I mean, like I said, I don't really have any notes. I kind of just came here to ramble as usual. Let's see, what else? Do I talk about the trip? Like, I feel like I might as well. Because, so for instance, the trip itself, right? And relating to this subject, I went to Texas not really knowing what I would get out of it. But you got to pay to get there, obviously. It costs money, it costs time. How much time are you willing to sacrifice? For me, I put out 2 weeks for just Texas time. I wasn't recording any other podcasts. Well, I did out there, but like I had to sacrifice a different podcast, be like, hey, I'm gone for 2 weeks. I'm doing this, right? We're out there for 2 weeks, exploring the scene, talking to comics, which is really cool, like connecting to other comics who have maybe moved from other cities to Austin because, Austin's a quickly growing scene. And then also maybe some comics that have been there for a while, right? Talking to them, connecting with them, seeing, what advice they have to give, right? If they're even willing to share it. And then a lot of them were, which was really cool to see. They're like, hey, okay, this is the setup. Here are the mics that you want to go to. Maybe you don't want to go to this one. These are my favorite days to go out and grind, like, oh, like I like Wednesdays. I like to go to Monday, like you hear different things from different artists and different people. But generally, I think they were all pretty helpful. So we're out there. First show I did, 𝁟There in Austin, Texas. That was really fun. I had a fun time on that show. Shout out to Abbas Wahab for the opportunity. We're out there, me, Zeus, Abbas, Michael Moses, all Canadian guys in America doing a show. And I would say for me personally, that was the most fun show that I was a part of, right? I think it was probably my best set today. If you want to see that set, actually, check out the Patreon. It's up there. I've been uploading to the Patreon, make sure you guys go check it out for the low cost price of a caramel ice cap. If you want to support, see the journey, I have a bunch of sets up there. Go check it out. What else? Yeah, I did what, like 5 to 7 minutes. Got some laughs. I'm really starting to build up a 5 minute set, which is good. A lot of the comics, they say you want to start building up a type 5 minutes that like you can basically do anywhere, right? So if you get the opportunity, it's like, hey, you got a tight 5 minutes? Got it. Boom. So I'm really starting to formulate my first 5 minutes. And it's been going pretty well. Like I said, it was also pretty fun. I got some laughs, I was able to kind of stay in the moment, be present, which is another thing that I have been consciously focusing on trying to do on stage, is like be in the moment. Because I remember the first time I went up on stage, I don't even remember what happened. But now I'm starting to be able to be like, okay, I'm here. I can see the audience. I can see their reactions. They're smiling. They're looking around. Just really trying to be in the moment. So yeah, that was kind of that was the first set that I did in America. One of my favorite sets to date. Then what did I do? I did an open mic at Laugh Out Loud in San Antonio, and that was nerve-wracking because their open mics there have 60 to 80 people, and usually an open mic is mainly just comics, right? Maybe 12 to 20 comics in the back. They're just waiting for their turn to do their material. Maybe like 4 audience members. This one, 60 audience members, and still maybe like 20 comics hoping to get up, maybe more. And that's also on the Patreon, so make sure you go check it out. But that was an experience as well, because like, once again, I didn't know. I put my name in the bucket. I was like, hey, yeah, if I get picked, I get picked. If I don't, I don't. Let's see what happens. I ended up getting picked. I go over my material. They call me up. I go up. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't my best set. I didn't bomb, and I wasn't the worst person there. But I wasn't the best. But it's really about the experience, right? And I think like that experience of being able to, once again, keep it together. Don't like back out of the situation. Like, I'm crossing my name off this. I'm not doing this. No, you got to stay in it. Stayed in it. Went up on stage. Was looking at the people, looking at the crowd, going back and forth, and going through my material again. I feel like I maybe flubbed up a few lines once again because of the nerves, but I'm happy that I actually experienced that. And that was a good fun time too. What else did we do? I got to beat Russell Peters. That was on the next week. We road tripped from Austin to Oklahoma. He was doing a show out there. We got to meet him. Got to hang out with Russell motherfucking Peters. And what did we do? We watched this show, and he's OG. He's one of the GOATs. We get to watch him. He's doing his thing. He's crushing it. He's smooth. He's getting the laughs. And then also, we're hanging out with him backstage, watching UFC. Like, alhamdulillah. What a moment. And backstage, we get to see Russell Peters on stage. But then also watch UFC Pereira versus Prochazka 2, which went exactly as I expected. But maybe I'll save that for another podcast. This guy really sounds like Alchemist. Anyways, so did that. Got to see how comedy is done at one of the highest levels, and Zeus got to go up. He did like 8 to 10 minutes. He did his thing. He was having fun. He was connecting with the crowd, being present, so that was good. And then, yeah. What did we do after Oklahoma? We drove back. Then we signed up the next Sunday. So we were out there Saturday. Boom, Sunday we sign up for the open mic. Once again, sacrifice. We were tired. We drove from Austin to Oklahoma, and then from Oklahoma to Austin in the same night. We didn't get back till like 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Police knocking at my door. But we get back. You know, like I said, we sacrificed. We were tired. I had to drive back. I was like, you know, trying to stay awake. Driving back. We get back. We sleep for a couple hours. Back on the grind. Sacrificing sleep for the dream. Sacrificing dreams for the dream. You know what I'm saying? We get there. We wait in line. We're talking to more comics. Don't get up. It is what it is. But we go around. We're still exploring. Still seeing Austin. And then, what else did we do? That's a Sunday, Monday. 𝓟There. We signed up for 𝓟There 2 weeks in a row. That was cool. That was fun. Getting to see like what it's actually like. Because they say there are, you know, Tony will be like, you'll reach in the bucket. It's like, we have over 250 comics that put their name in the bucket for a chance to do 1 minute of stand-up. It's really like that. You know, it's really like that. Like, we're at the bar. We're at Poor Choices across the street. Everyone's there. Everyone's going over the material. Once again, there's like a slight nervous energy, you know, because so one of us might get picked, you know, for 𝓟There. And then when someone gets picked, everyone claps. It's actually really cool. But, you know, everyone's there. We're sacrificing basically a Monday night for the opportunity. You know, you got to throw money in the well before you get blessed. People are waiting. They're chilling. Going over the material. Talking with other comics, maybe. And it's just really cool to see like the back end of like that machine, because it really is like a machine. It is like a whole system, and it's really cool to see. Then we'll skip from that Monday to the Wednesday. We get to meet with probably one of my new favorite comics, Brian Holtzman. Zeus's OG, Jason Rouse, a friend of Brian Holtzman. Now, we're a friend of Holtzman. Hashtag FOH, friend of Holtzman. Takes us, we go to Vulcan Gas Company. Chilling in the green room. Holtzman pulls up. You know, we're hanging with him. We're talking. And then we get to see him live at Vulcan Gas Company. And this guy is so funny. Like, he's like one of those comics that, like, you know, when comics say comedy should be 50% people dying of laughter, 50% people in pure disgust, Brian Holtzman embodies that. And there were people in the audience at Vulcan that didn't know whether to laugh, to cry, to be outraged. And then there's just me and Zeus dying of laughter in the back because this guy is so outrageously funny, you know? So we see him there, and then he takes us to the mothership with the VIP ticket, VIP band. I don't have that here, but, you know, VIP band. We go into the mothership. He's taking us all around the back rooms. Okay, so we got to go through here. How do you go from, you know, because, you know, the mothership has 2 rooms, the little boy and the fat man. So he's like, okay, well, we got to go through here, pass behind the kitchen, and then this is the shortcut to go between rooms. And we get to see a bunch of people at the fat man, which was good. I saw Tony live. I saw Sean Gardini, David Jolly, Ari Matti, up-and-coming guy, but he's probably has 10 years in the game. Hilarious comic as well. Then we leave. That's the Wednesday. Thursday night, 4th of July. Brian Holtzman headlining the mothership, the Fat Man room. And once again, just going back to the idea of like 50% disgust, 50% people dying of laughter. Brian Holtzman literally walks, like, people are walking out of the show. It was one of the funniest things I've seen. Like, people are just this guy is too much for me. I'm out. I'm at the mothership, but, people are literally waiting in standby line for hours for an opportunity to just get in. They'll get in at any show. And people are walking out like, oh, this guy's too much. He's saying this word too much. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm out. If the room was if there's 300 people in the room, I would say maybe oh, did we restart it? We did. If there's maybe 300 people in the room, 70 people walked out, and it was the funniest thing. Like, I couldn't stop laughing at how many people were walking out. They just couldn't take it. They couldn't take the jokes, the heat at the mothership. Good thing there's they lock your phone up and everything, because people would be recording this and trying to cancel them. It's so funny. But yeah, you gotta be. He's willing to go to that other side to make the kind of jokes he was making. I'm not gonna say any of them. I'm not gonna say any of them because that's his material. But he's willing to throw money in the well, and some people get upset at him, and if you're like me and you have a sense of humor, you're dying of laughter. Yeah, and that kind of wraps up the whole trip. Went there, bought the plane ticket, once again, threw money in the well, didn't know what I would get in return. But, we got blessed. I can't even lie. Got to see Russell Peters. Russell Peters is one of the big inspos for me. I loved watching Russell Peters growing up. I still do. Watching him just go up there. And you know what's interesting? He's still a cool guy. He's still a regular dude. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, just watching him, not even knowing he's going to be within driving distance while we're down there. But just so happened got to hang out, got to meet him. Blessed. That wouldn't have happened if I never bought the plane ticket. If I didn't, throw money in the well before I got blessed. You got to be willing to do that if you want to be blessed. You got to throw money in the well. And I think that's where I'm going to end it. I think that was a good enough time. 33 minutes. Not bad for, like I said, I took a few months off, but I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I'm going to try and do these more regularly. Again, we'll see. I'm probably going to be coming back to Hamilton more often because now that I got the bug of doing stand-up, now I got to go to open mics. And there's no open mics in my hometown, so I got to go to Hamilton or Toronto. So, yeah. Going to be out here more often, hopefully. Trying to do more recording, not trying to overexert myself, but I got to crank it up a little bit more. Just a little bit, incrementally crank it up. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Until the next time, here is the outro music.
Further.
I'm sorry.
You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.